Welcome back to Podiatry Marketing. I'm your host, Jim McDannald, joined as always by my trusty co-host, Tyson Franklin. Tyson, how's it going today?
I am fantastic today, Big Jim. It's, I don't know. Life is just good. That's all I can say. Life is good. Can't complain.
It's a good way to go through life with that positive mental attitude.
Yeah, no, I was bitching and complaining before we pressed record. But this show always needs positivity. So you gotta leave all that out there. No one was there. You know what they
Absolutely.
always say? When you complain to other people, if you come up and you complain, they reckon 50% of people don't care, and the other 50% are happy that you've got problems because they have them as well.
That's a pretty funny statistic.
It is just one of those things. Have you ever, you've been somewhere and you'll have someone and you'll ask them, "Oh, how's your day going?" And then they tell you, and you're like, "I really didn't need to know that much about it. Which just give me a happy, it's good," and just move on to something else. Anyway, today we are talking about, here's my topic. It is why building credibility is better than paying for advertising. Good topic.
Yeah, as someone who advertises for my clients, I'm curious to hear what you have to say today.
Well, it's one of those things. It's not saying that this is the only way to do it. It's probably by the time we finish this, you then combine it with paid advertising and you're going to get absolutely fantastic results. But basically, this episode is less about spending money and more about spending intention. So thinking about more about what you're doing. It's about how trust moves in the real world, not just results that you see on a dashboard in your Facebook ads manager or something like that. So first thing is, this is what normally happens. Most podiatrists are trying to buy trust. So they'll run an ad and it'll say, yeah, how great they are, or it'll say how experienced they are. Patients don't care. How many years they've been practicing? Oh, I've been practicing for 25 years. And then they wait for the phone to ring or their online bookings to absolutely come flowing in. But the uncomfortable truth is advertising doesn't create trust. It only rents attention. Something to ponder
Pretty
and
deep.
think about.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking no, we live in an attention economy, but definitely you can't buy trust in the way that you can buy attention.
Yeah. So credibility, on the other hand, it's basically traveling through people, not through online platforms. And I think when podiatrists can actually understand this, your whole marketing strategy will change, because it's not saying don't run ads. It's just remembering that you've got paid advertising here, but trust and credibility is on the other side. So you therefore, when you understand that, you stop just jumping onto whatever the next hot thing is. You see the podiatrist down the road doing some clever things on Instagram. Don't just jump on that because that's what everybody else is doing. Or when you see an example of, hey, this is John the podiatrist here at an extra $40,000 last month using our single email campaign. But what I'm always curious about, I want to see John again. What did you do the month after that, John? And then the month after that, and the month after that. If it brought in an extra 40 grand this month, did it keep doing that every month with that one single email campaign? Probably not.
Yeah, unlikely, right? Yeah, that you get a lot of those kind of people hooked with the 40 new patients, or I'll give you the secret and your doors will swing wide open forever. And yeah, there's probably a lot of hype and not much substance behind it.
Especially the beginning part of 2026, there are a couple of particular companies that I've never seen them advertise. I could not go into a single online platform without seeing them promoting what they were doing, their email campaign, the program that's going to make your 2026 better. They were everywhere. Now, it's either two things are happening. Either they're making a ton of money from it, which is why they keep doing it, or it used to work in the past running that sort of stuff, but now everyone realizes it doesn't necessarily always work, and they're doing it more because they actually need to get more clients.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know. They kind of keep those secrets to themselves, I think.
Yeah, I have to ask them. So anyway, so let's look at paid advertising versus building credibility. Advertising, as I said before, is basically paid attention, and you're actually saying, look at me. Whereas credibility is trust that's earned over time, that someone you trust has already checked them out for you. That's what the credibility is all about. So there's a big difference. Paid advertising is one that interrupts. The other arrives pre-approved. And that's why referrals are always a great way of, how can I rephrase that? Lost my train of thought here. That's all right. Oh, and that's why referrals almost always convert faster than ads. And here's the important thing to note. The same people that promote their amazing email campaign will also tell you that referral marketing is dead. And they're so wrong. And this was the big thing that was spruiked in 2025 when they were saying, oh, referral marketing is dead. You need to use these email campaigns. And I'm like, no, referral marketing has never been dead because I know that it works.
No, it's powerful to have the trust of other physicians, and when they refer to you, that trust is transferred. So yeah, it's a lot more maybe hard earned over the years, but it is one of those things like a snowball rolling downhill. The more momentum and trust you build with other local healthcare and non-healthcare providers, the better things are going to be for you and for practice.
Definitely. So the third thing I want to mention is just why referrals convert faster than ads. And when I say convert, I'm talking about a patient going from not knowing you to trusting you quickly. And when a patient walks into your clinic because another health provider, say it was a physio, for example, sent them, it says that they trust you. There used to be a doctor in Cairns, Dr. Tony Turner. And whenever he referred a patient to my clinic, he used to refer maybe half a dozen every month. Guaranteed 100%. As soon as they walk through the door, they'll say, here's a referral from Dr. Turner. He said, weave your magic. He had already told them, you need to go and see Tyson. You need to go to this clinic. Well, you need to go to this clinic, ask for Tyson. If you can't see Tyson, see somebody else, but you don't need to go anywhere else. This is the clinic you need to go to. Almost 100%. No matter what treatment plan we put in front of them, they would follow it because the trust was already built. No different to if your child's football club recommends you or recommends you to another person. That is actually, that trust is built. Or you've got a friend or a mother says to one of their friends, oh, you should go and see this podiatry because they are absolutely amazing. Once again, the trust has already been built for you. So you're not starting from zero, which when you pay for advertising and that person walks through your door, there's no trust. You're starting pretty much right down the bottom of the trust ladder. Instead of referrals, you're almost starting halfway up the trust ladder. Then it's up to you to take them up those steps as you go along. So there's no skepticism. They're not comparing you to another provider down the road, or they're not price shopping. So if a friend says to you, you should go and see this provider, you're not going to go, oh, okay, I'm just going to check out some other friends and see which provider they recommend. If you trust your friend, you're actually going to trust that recommendation.
That's huge to have that transfer of trust because, like you said, you're not starting from zero. You've already got some goodwill. When someone refers you a patient, they're with a doctor. If Tyson Franklin, referred to Jim, then he must be the best thing, of all time. So, joking aside, it is a super powerful way to kind of to build a practice. And like I said, it doesn't scale as much, at least at the beginning. But as you get better known in the community, you make more of these connections. You're networking. People trust you. You're referring back to people. It's a self-reinforcing habit that can really help a practice not only maintain but grow strongly.
Definitely. And it's the next thing I want to talk about is just borrowed credibility versus self-proclaimed expertise. So where a lot of clinics get stuck, they'll declare that they are the leading clinic in town, or they're experts in foot pain. And then when people read that, they go, yeah, sure you are. Of course you are. Yeah, now you might be the best thing going around. But if you keep going out and just shouting it out to people, they're like, yeah, well, yeah, the guy down the road said he was the best. I don't know who to trust. And to me, it's no different to, like, say, my coaching services. I could tell everyone listening here right now that I am the best podiatry business coach on the planet with proven results. Okay, read the testimonials on my website. There's the proof. And it may be true, but I'll guarantee my inbox is not full of podiatrists messaging me, yeah, every week wanting to work with me because I haven't built any trust with them. But if a podiatrist that I had worked with was friendly with somebody else and they said, "Hey, we've seen your clinic grow really well. Who would you recommend I talk to?" And if they said, "Hey, you should go and see Tyson," straight away, the trust level is a lot higher. And therefore, people are more inclined to actually follow it. So borrowed credibility is you're getting the credibility from somebody else. So if my GP said I had to see somebody, or a friend said, "Hey, you should work with this podiatrist," their friends are actually going to follow that advice. If your physio said they only refer to you or only refer to your clinic, then patients are going to go, "Well, if that's the only clinic you work with and I like you, therefore that podiatry clinic must be okay." And or if there was a running club that you're part of and you were talking to someone at that running club, they said, "Who would you recommend?" They said, "All our running members go to this podiatry clinic." Straight away, it's a no-brainer. So you can see the obvious difference between you going out and say, "I'm the expert," or other people saying, "No, these are the people you should see. They're the experts."
That's a perfect example of, you know, are you talking about yourself or is other people talking about you? And when other people talk about you, it's much more substantiated. People are gonna believe it more than they would just you talking about yourself and saying how great you are. Because anybody can say that, right? These are unsubstantiated claims. You know, you can put that on your website. You can tell everyone that you're the best thing ever, but until someone is willing to put their reputation on the line for you in that way, yeah, it's just it's kind of night and day there.
But if you think about a friend came to you and they said, "We're going out for dinner for our wedding anniversary. Where would you recommend we go for dinner?" If they're a really close friend of yours, you said, "Well, this is where I would go." I'm putting my reputation on the line at the same time when I'm telling them to go to that restaurant. Because if they go there and have a really bad experience, they're never going to listen to me again. So you're going to be very cautious on where you send them. You're going to send them somewhere where you know consistently it's always good. There might be somewhere that's been absolutely spectacular and other times it's been okay. You may not go there. And I think healthcare is exactly the same. When somebody says they should come and see you, that person that has said that, whether it's a health provider or somebody else, they're putting their reputation on the line, which is that's why the trust level is built up so much quicker.
That totally makes sense.
So if you think about it, who actually lends credibility to podiatrists? Google doesn't, Instagram doesn't, Facebook doesn't. Your flashy business name or even your logo does not necessarily give you credibility. Real credibility comes from people who have already earned trust with your ideal patients. So your GPs, physios, and other allied health professionals, if they have your ideal client and they've built trust with them, you need to tap into that. Sporting clubs and coaches, it could be even schools and teachers. I used to go to my daughter's primary school and they used to have a health day, and the school had asked me to come in and do a talk to a lot of the other parents. Having that school recommending me to all those kids' parents, that actually built a lot of credibility and trust for us. So there's other parents, other athletes. If you have an athlete in your clinic, that athlete will be telling other athletes about you, especially if they've got a positive result. If they've got a negative result, they're going to be telling them as well. So don't produce negative results. But even your existing patients, you want your existing patients to become raving fans. So these people influence other people's decisions.
Now, these are people what I would call like practice multipliers, right? You know, it's one person that talks to three people, and if you do that multiple times across many days, many weeks, many months, many years, you just get that positive word of mouth, and that's why people value word of mouth as much as they do. But it's one of those things where advertising is like kind of a one to many. There's a specific message. It's not really customized. It's not really meant for that one person. But, when you make these relationships in front of, a running club that has 50 members or, a coach that has, 30 people that are coaching or an athlete that has, 15 other people on their team that want them to be back on the court or back on the field. And you make a difference for those people and they speak about you, those are, it's not, you're not scaling instantly, but you're building up scale with these practice multipliers.
Yeah, I know back in the day when TV advertising was popular and advertising in the newspaper was popular, We did all that. But at the same time, we really worked in our referral network. And then as the years went on and the decades went past and TV dropped and newspapers dropped, our referral, like I said, it was a slow burn over a period of time. It kept growing. So no matter what else was popular, whether it was Google ads or any form of online advertising or offline, our referral network kept growing. It gave us such a solid base. And even up until I remember one of the last days I was in my clinic before I sold it, and a patient came in to see me that I had met at a networking event, and he'd been a patient for 25 years. And we were laughing about how we first met at one of the earliest networking events I went to, and how he became a raving fan of my clinic and how many people he had referred to me over decades. It was just, you couldn't put a price on that actual relationship.
Absolutely. That those one-to-one and relationships are invaluable.
So the last thing I want to talk about is just why ads stop but credibility compounds. So here's the brutal mathematical truth. When you stop paying for ads, the attention stops immediately. That may surprise people, but there's no online or old school advertiser that will keep letting you talk to their audience if you stop paying. They never have, never will. It's just the way it works. So you may have been advertising in a particular spot. Let's say, for example, it was a local magazine, a monthly publication in your area, and you've been advertising there every month for 10 years. The day you stop advertising with them, they won't say, you know what, Jim, you've been so good to us over the last decade and spent mega bucks of us. We're going to let you just run your ads for the next 6 months for free because we like it. No, you stop paying them, it stops. But your credibility through networking referrals, it stacks up layer on top of layer on top of layer long term. So every relationship you build keeps working long after you've had that coffee meeting, that networking event, or you've done a presentation somewhere. Credibility compounds while ads just expire. As soon as you stop, thud, the advertising stops. The audience stops as well.
Yeah, it's immediate uptick and immediate downturn, right? So that's the downsides of advertising, the advertising world.
And that's why you should be doing both. You should be doing online marketing. You should be doing paid ads. But at the same time, you should be trying to build trust and credibility and networking over a period of time. So here's an action step to build your credibility map. Here's a couple of things I'm going to get people to actually do. A practical thing you can actually do this week. So the credibility map, I'm going to go over this in detail in my upcoming Podiatry Marketing Masterclasses. So if you happen to be going to that, you're going to get the big scale of this. But here's the short version. Here's a brief explanation. And if you're listening to this after I've done a marketing masterclass, you missed out. You missed out. You should have gone to it. Anyway, first thing is, who is your ideal patient? We talked about this before. Describe them in detail. Who is your ideal patient? Who would you love to see more of in your clinic? And now the second thing is, who already has your ideal patient's trust? So think about who you really like, but who already has the trust of those people? And think beyond healthcare. Just think within your community and other areas. Where are these people actually hanging out? And these on the third thing, where do these people gather? Is there certain clinics or there's clubs? Are there schools? Are there certain meetings they go to? Are there online groups that they hang out on? And then the fourth thing is, how can you add value first? Think about education. Think about how can you support these groups. So we used to do a lot of work with some of the sporting clubs here that we provided money so that they could get equipment. We were supporting that club. We didn't ask for anything. Every now and then they'd ask us to come in and do a talk. It might have been a strapping demonstration. Didn't ask for anything for that, but it built credibility over a period of time. So yeah, are there any collaborations that you can do? The main part about this is when you're adding value first, is you're not trying to sell anything. You're just giving value for the sake of giving value, knowing that it's actually going to help people. So the final tip is, don't just ask for referrals. Instead, earn trust and relevance from your potential referrers.
I think that's great. The value first thing really resonates with me. I know that, a lot of times when the people that I'm working with, it wasn't that they did a Google search and just found me, or I ran ads and they found me. Either they, they either heard that I was good, but then also they see that I'm giving away a lot of information that sometimes other providers, want them to pay hundreds or thousands of dollars for. So yeah, if you can find ways to provide value first to these referral sources, it's going to be a long-term win for you and for them as well.
What are we up to? Episode 200 and something at the moment. Don't know. Is this 216, 217?
217, I think.
Yeah, 217. If you have a look at the amount of information we have given away over 217 episodes, if every podiatrist went back and just took notes from every one of those things, it's the amount of information there is incredible. But it's still, we'll have another 217 episodes in us, because the marketing is ongoing. It's always changing and it's evolving, which is why people need to keep listening.
I mean, we probably have over 100 hours of content for people to sift through. So maybe at some point we should write a book together and put that out there. So,
we are writing a book, Jim. So I think we mentioned that
okay.
on an earlier. I think we mentioned that in an earlier episode. We are writing a book, and it is coming out very soon. So stay tuned for that.
For sure.
Okay, Jim, that's pretty well covered what I want to talk about today. You want to say anything else before we wrap up?
No, that was fantastic, Tyson. I thought you really touched on some good stuff there, and I always enjoy hearing your take on the ways of building trust, getting referrals, and why that's better than advertising. So,
okay, Jim. I will see you next week.
Sounds great, Tyson.
Okay, see you later. Bye.
Bye now.